After beating the tunnel, I have quite a few questions on my mind. Who is the messenger? What will the prisms form? Why did Descadora's piece not move? And what were those eyes? But those questions have to wait, because now I've got to beat World 5. There should only be 8 worlds, so I guess I'm already halfway through. Weird name. Wow, this world is a hell of a lot longer than the previous ones. This is definitely gonna take a while, but on the bright side, I still have Gigan. The music definitely sounds like desert music, but it also has a somewhat somber feel to it. Looking at the other side of the map, there seems to be some land that I can't access. Not sure what the deal with that is, but I'll probably figure it out eventually. The levels are Barren, Vestitus, Urban, Sewer, Impetum, Pyramid, Factory, and Genetics. The last one has the same icon as Barren, but a different name. It uses the text from the password screen, so your guess is as good as mine. The bosses are Super X, Kamakarus, Tricephalon, and Vora. I recognize the first two, but I'm pretty sure that the Super X was just a regular enemy in the original game. I have no idea what Tricephalon is, and Vora seems to be another fusion monster, like Mozora. I assume he's a mix of Varan and Hedora? Anyways, onto the first level. Barren is a good change of pace from the last two worlds. It's nice to be in a sunny level instead of shrouded in shadow. So far there's nothing to interact with. Sometimes dragonflies soar overhead, but they just ignore me. The music is minimalistic. Best thing I can compare it to is the music from Lane Ed's Dead Tree levels. Been walking for a minute and a half and still nothing else has appeared. Finally, something different in this boring hellscape, and it's just background. Lame. Looks like the game wants me to press up. I guess to go inside? Seems like a pretty tight squeeze, but I guess I'll take anything at this point. It's a bit cramped in here, and the music got quieter. I don't know how there's lighting on all sides of this cave, but whatever. There's a skull to the right, and I think writing on the wall near it. At least that's what I assume those squiggly lines are. When I get close to it, the game tells me to press up. Interesting. Whoever this Ophir guy is must be a real tyrant. In fact, I bet he's this world's prism keeper. That was neat, but I'm kinda hoping the level ends soon. That, or something interesting appears. Well, something interesting has appeared. He looks friendly enough. I wonder if he's another NPC.
Greetings, Wanderer. I haven't seen your kind before. What's your name?
Name's Anthony. I'm just passing through.
Well, I must warn ye, Anthony. Beyond the Red Desert lies a dangerous purple wasteland, and beyond that is Ophir's city. The reason I'm out here is because Ophir gave me the options of either exile or death. Be careful.
I'm completely stunned. He heard what I said. I've heard about games from the 80s reacting to your voice, but I thought that was just for the Famicom. Whoever made this has some insane game dev knowledge. Or maybe this really is an anomalous game. Nope, that's not possible. This is just some crazy ROM hack made by someone with way too much time on their hands. Moving on. After about a minute, I finally found something to get my mind off that conversation. The only thing this dinosaur can do is bite. At least I think. Maybe it can do other stuff, but it can't get close enough to me because I can just kick it back before it reaches me. Well, if it isn't the messenger, he looks really out of place in this bright red desert.
You have defeated another prism keeper, and I have rewarded you yet again.
Yeah, thanks, but I'm probably not gonna check it out immediately.
Very well, but do continue on your quest, for the sake of my planet.
Well, it's confirmed. The game can definitely hear me. But what exactly is my quest? And how is it related to saving his planet? I guess I'll just have to wait and see. And that level is finally over, thank God. Vestitus is a purple version of Barren, but it feels a lot hotter. The background, the music, it all just feels hot, like being stranded in the middle of a scorching desert. Not that I know how that feels. I've had nightmares like that before, but I've never actually been anywhere I would call a desert. The dragonflies are back, and now they're actually attacking me. but they're not too tough. If anything, I'm having a harder time concentrating on the game. God, this level is making me feel really faint. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. Jesus! Never mind then. God forbid I hydrate myself. All this rock monster can do is walk towards me, but it does a decent amount of damage. It doesn't help that they blend into the background. If it weren't for the loud sounds they make and the hole they leave behind, I wouldn't even notice them. Now the rock monsters are showing up a lot more often. It's hard to deal with them, the dragonflies, and the nausea this level is giving me. Oh hey, it's another one of those dinosaurs. At least this'll be easier than the rest of the stage. Or not? What ripped off his tail? Well, there's my answer. The big guy is charging at me, so I guess he doesn't want any competition. All he can do is punch, but he's actually a pretty tough mini-boss. Doesn't help that I'm still having a hard time concentrating on this level. After I beat him, the level ended, which is great, because that level was messing with my head. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. Oh god damn it, the Super X moved towards me and now I have to battle it. It's a lot smaller than I would have expected, but I guess the board icon was small too. It also doesn't have that much power and life, so at least this will be over quick. Well, it would be if it didn't keep stunning me with this laser beam. And when it isn't stunning me, it's dodging all of my attacks with its frantic movements. Now it's staying out of my reach and firing homing missiles. Thankfully I can destroy them. I guess its plan is to store the battle timer and whittle me down between fights. Unfortunately for it, I have backup. Time for a rematch. Mothra finally leveled up while going through the other levels, but she also took a bit of damage. I doubt it'll be a problem though. Oh yeah, I found out Mothra has a new move. It's a piercing wave that gets bigger and stronger the further it goes. It completely destroys this thing's missile attack. Whoa! Now that it's low on health, it's firing big missiles that can't be destroyed. Thankfully, they're not homing. It still isn't that tough with Mothra, but I don't want to know how much damage the missile does. Alright, now I'm gonna get some water. Then I'll send Godzilla to some new stages. Urban looks like a city with what I assume are houses in front of and behind this fence. I just realized how weird the scaling is here. I'm in a kaiju-sized city with kaiju-sized fences surrounding kaiju-sized houses. This place would be terrifying as a human. This bug guy must be one of the residents. Since I now know the game can talk to me, I'll start a conversation. Hey there, what's your name?
Sorry pal, if the guards see me talking to a vertebrate, I'll be arrested.
Talking to a vertebrate? I guess this is a city of bug people. Now that I think about it, that creature in Baron said he was forced to either leave or die. I guess Ofa has some kind of agenda against vertebrates? A bit further in and there's some more bugs, but they're trying to avoid me. Not that I blame them. Wait, what's that thing flying at the top? Ah, damn it. What I assume is a clawcopter fires its claw at me. Thankfully, it just stuns me and I can button mash out of it, but they'll definitely be annoying combined with other enemies. I assume these foot soldier robots are the Borgs. They just stab and fire energy balls from their mouths, I guess? But they always come in pairs, and I still have to pay attention to the clawcopters. I really like that when the robots die, all their pieces separate in a big explosion. It's super satisfying. The music is also very different from the previous two levels. It's an energetic synthy track. Honestly, it's a song I would listen to in my spare time. This must be a Strider. It's pretty big for a regular enemy. All it does is walk and shoot from its tiny gun, but those legs don't look too stable. Nice. The level kept going on for a bit after that, but nothing new happened. Impetum looks to be some sort of military base, judging by the background and music. So far the only enemies are Borgs and Striders from the urban level. First new enemy here is a triangular tank thing. It just fires energy things at me, but if I don't kill them fast enough they can pile up surprisingly quickly. Also the turrets in the background fire lasers occasionally. It made me jump the first time it happened. Second new enemy is some kind of wasp robot that looks similar to the Borgs. They even attack in pairs and fire the same yellow energy balls. Unfortunately, they fly really high up, so I can only hit them with the atomic breath, and I'd rather not waste it on them. Third new enemy looks like a walking drill machine. It's probably the hardest enemy here. Its drill does a lot of damage, and Godzilla's crouch is just barely too high to avoid it, so I basically have to use the atomic breath. What the hell is this thing? It looks like a kid's crappy drawing. Is this seriously a mini-boss? Well, it couldn't have been because it died in a couple hits. But it did drop a ton of health capsules, so that's nice. Whoa, there must be an earthquake going on because the ground is shaking a lot. Even the robots are having trouble navigating the terrain. Alright, looks like I've reached the end of the stage. Never mind, I guess it's time for the real mini-boss. I really like this guy's design. So far he's just trying to get up close and hit me with his claw, but I can just whack him away with my tail. After some more tail whips he ran back and now he's firing I-beams at me. He's spamming them but they don't do much damage. Well, he drilled back underground, so I guess I won? Kinda anticlimactic. Damn it, I should have known it wouldn't be that easy. Alright, enough messing around. Time to melt this freak with some atomic breath. What the hell? He blocked it with his own fire breath. This attack must be his trump card. He fires an explosive red mist from his mouth. I can't dodge it, but I can get rid of it by beating the hell out of it. Not sure how that works, but I'll take it. Never mind, this must be his trump card. He charges at me and then wrecks me with his giant drill. This battle is getting down to the wire. Finally! At least I leveled up after that ordeal, which is good because I'm about to fight a boss. Great, this is gonna be like the Gargantua's fight back in Lane Edge, but this time I actually have to fight both of them at the same time. It seems like they have more differences than just their color palettes. The orange one is trying to get up close and skewer or slash me, while the green one is hanging back and flying. They also both have a ranged attack. They swing down their claws, which somehow creates a wave thing. Alright, one down. This is surprisingly easy. Wait, what's he doing now? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, his camouflage would be a huge annoyance, if I didn't have a giant wall of death. Just one more and... boom! This world is going pretty well so far. You know, I've been wondering, if those robots in the urban and impetum levels attacked Godzilla because he was a vertebrate, what happens if I send in Mothra? As I suspected, the robots are completely ignoring me. I was going to ask one of the residents for some info, but I can't find any. My guess is they're hiding inside their houses. Can't say I blame them. Well, I probably should send Mothra through the city, but I'm really curious about what the sewer levels have in store. I don't think there's meant to be mysterious black sludge in the sewers. And it might look like I don't have much room to maneuver, but it's actually even more cramped because I can't fly below this walkway. I'm surprised I haven't seen any robots yet. For such an important part of a city's infrastructure, you'd think they'd have at least one down here. Never mind, there's a tiny clawcopter. It's actually kinda cute. I guess cuteness doesn't get you anywhere with sludge tentacles. Those are probably gonna be the main challenge of these levels. There's a door here that I can go inside, like that cave in Baron. I wonder what goodies this'll have in store. Unfortunately, there's a whole lot of nothing, except for a disassembled clawcopter. I wonder why it was taken apart. Oh come on, that's not fair. I didn't have any time to react. That toothy maw took out a big chunk of my health. Hopefully I can earn it back somehow. Now there's some things that spit out floating globs of sludge. They seem to do it infinitely, so I'm gonna use this opportunity to get my health back. I guess now is probably a good time to talk about the music. The best word I could use to describe it is otherworldly. It's not like any other song I've heard in this game, or any song I've heard in general. Another door here, but I doubt it'll have anything in it. You know what? That door is actually looking pretty good right now. Thankfully, the door doesn't lead to an empty room this time. Is that a jail cell? A visitor? I haven't seen anything alive come through these parts for a long time. Please, come closer to the bars. I haven't had a conversation in a while. Sure. Go ahead. Ask away. Whoa, I wasn't expecting a close-up. I guess I should ask for their name. Who am I? Nothing more than a pathetic insect who lost it all. Anything else? So far they're not very helpful. Maybe they can give some info about Niagrab. Niagrab was once a beautiful place, until that dastardly Ofa gained power. Well, that's something I kinda just assumed would be the case. Maybe they know something about Ofa? Ofa is a crooked insect who rose up the ranks through shady deals, all in the name of some prism he was gifted. Once he overthrew the king, he mass-produced an army of robots to enforce his agenda, and to kill any who rebelled against him. Wow, that's actually kinda interesting. I wonder who gave Ofa a prism, and were Malice and Norin also gifted their prisms by the same person? But aside from that, I'm also really curious about what happened to the king. After he paralyzed the king, Ofa ordered his robot to discreetly imprison him deep inside the sewers. Huh, so I guess Ofa has electricity powers. Wait, how do you know about what happened if it was done discreetly? I'm sure you can figure that out on your own. Ugh. Anyways, I think it's time you leave this place. I wouldn't want Ofa's robots to find you down here. Aw man, I wanted to ask him some more questions. But I guess he's right. I don't want to be caught by any of Ofa's drones. Not too far from that cell was another door leading to a ladder. I pressed up to enter and the level ended. You know, something's been bugging me about this world. Niagrab feels so much more real compared to the last couple of worlds. Lanehead and Regna felt pretty video gamey, whilst this one has a whole society and history that I barely even know about. Not to get too emotional or anything, but the main reason I bought this cartridge and started this whole thing was as a sort of escapism from something that happened in my real life a few months ago. But now that I'm getting further through the game, it keeps popping up in my head every now and then. And I definitely know that this thing isn't haunted, but after that conversation, I've got this nagging feeling that somehow this thing really is alive. Alright, that's enough of me rambling. The only level left that I can access is the pyramid, so that has to be the way across. Pyramid is a flat desert save for some mechanical pyramids in the background. Enemies seem to be the same ones from Impetum, but they're easier to deal with since Gigan's laser requires less power. The music has an almost mystical feel to it, if that makes sense. The metal pyramids can also appear on the main path. Their electric beams are slightly irritating, but it's pretty easy to stay out of their range. I just realized this is the first time there's been destructible terrain since Monster Island. It seems like the real purpose of the electric beams is to power up the robots. Once powered up, they can attack and move at double their usual speed. I'm gonna have to destroy the pyramids as fast as possible if I want to make it through this level. There's a new robot here that kinda looks like a shark. They're easy to deal with when there's just one of them, but they always attack in groups of 3 to 5. At least the buzzsaw can shred through them fairly well. Whoa. I guess the robots can't handle the energy when powered up by 2 pyramids. That seems like a pretty obvious design flaw. There's also some big green robots. They're definitely the hardest enemy so far. I'm lucky that they only spawn one at a time and not near pyramids. Things are getting rough. I hope I'm nearing the end of the stage soon. Wow, this pyramid is huge. It probably reaches beyond this planet's atmosphere. How were they even able to build this? Better question, why am I overthinking video game logic? It appears I've reached a large door. No idea how to open it though. Those symbols at the top look like the password letters. I'm gonna grab my notes to check something. Ah, what the hell hit me? Oh, a giant bug robot hit me. I guess it's already time for another mini-boss. Well, I guess the eye laser won't work since they can just absorb it, I guess? Seems unfair, but there's no use complaining. They're also pretty damn fast. It's almost impossible to tell when they're gonna fly forward and slash me. Thankfully, they glow before they shoot their electric beam, which makes it pretty easy to dodge. Well, there they go. At least that fight ended quickly. I really need to stop falling for the most obvious tricks in the book. Gigan's inability to crouch is making this fight a lot harder than it should be. I can somewhat lessen the damage if I quickly strike them with his hooks, but it's definitely not a foolproof strategy, especially since sometimes they'll just decide to shoot an electric beam instead of slashing. Wait a minute, why haven't I tried using the buzzsaw yet? I must have done a lot of damage because now they're no longer flying constantly and their attacks are getting more desperate. They're also orange now, but I have no idea if that's because of damage or something else entirely. Well, after a few more buzzsaws, they're down. But somehow that isn't enough for Gigan to level up. At least they dropped some health though. So, is the door gonna open now, or...? Well, this must be the level exit. This better get me to the other side of the board. Good, that was the way to the other side. It also unlocked a new level, so... ah crap, one of the bosses is moving towards Gigan. So Tricephalon seems to be some sort of three-headed cyborg dinosaur. I would say its design is ridiculous, but I'm currently playing as Gigan, so that'd be a real pot calling the kettle black situation. Tricephalon's main methods of attack are biting and firing lasers, but for the most part they're pretty easy to avoid. They like to fire the lasers from multiple heads at once, though they don't seem to realize that doing so drains their power bar super quickly. Now they're trying to grab Gigan and blast him with lasers from all three heads at once. But you really shouldn't try to get up close with a guy who has a buzzsaw on his belly. After that attempt failed, they've started hanging back and pushing me away with their lasers, probably just trying to stall the timer. Thankfully, Gigan's buzzsaw is strong as hell and Tricephalon dies anyway. Also, Gigan leveled up, so that's great. Alright, so the new level that appeared is called Tomb. Makes sense. I did end the pyramid stage by entering its tomb, but the icon looks pretty ancient compared to the high-tech pyramid. Mothra is pretty underleveled, so I'll use her for the rest of Niagrab going forward. Something interesting I noticed when I went through the pyramid stage as Mothra is that there were no longer any metal pyramids on the main path. I guess it doesn't reset, but that feels like a weird game design choice. The robots also weren't ignoring Mothra like they did in Urban. Thankfully, the mini-boss at the end also wasn't there, so I just went inside immediately. The tomb level starts with Mothra automatically descending down some stairs. It looks completely different on the inside compared to the outside. Maybe they just coated a pyramid they already had in metal? Haven't found any enemies yet somehow. This stage is giving me a really bad vibe, mainly because of the music. It sounds similar to the pyramid's theme, but a lot more menacing. Well, I finally found an enemy. The darkened sprite makes them kinda hard to see.
Unauthorized personnel identified. Target has neutralized several soldiers. Requesting him.
Jesus! Oh boy. This is gonna be one hell of a mini-boss, isn't it? Also, was this gnarly looking thing just hiding underneath the tomb? Whatever, now's not the time to think about logistics. Their first attack is firing a flurry of energy balls from their eye sockets. There's a lot, but they only fire them in short bursts, so Mothra can easily outmaneuver them. But it turns out I can't fly too low, otherwise they'll smack me with their claw for a lot of damage. Their second attack is spitting out spiked balls that bounce around erratically. They do a decent amount of damage and are pretty difficult to avoid. So it's a damn good thing that Mothra's projectiles can blow them up. They even drop life and power sometimes. As long as they keep doing this attack, this fight should go pretty well. I found out the hard way that it's a bad idea to be in front of this thing's mouth, because out of nowhere it let out a huge fiery blast and almost killed Mothra. I'm glad they didn't, because I have no idea how Godzilla or Gigan could beat this guy. Been wailing on him for a while and now he's rearing back. Definitely about to do something strong, so I gotta watch out. Wow, that was extraordinarily lucky. A little annoying that it didn't level me up, or at least drop some health, but I should probably get out of here. I doubt this pyramid is still structurally stable now that it has 2 giant holes in it. Finally made it to the end. Didn't find any other enemies, oddly enough. So I guess that Borg's request for backup didn't get through before it exploded. Time for the factory levels. Damn it, the level immediately started with 3 enemies ambushing me. Thankfully, Mothra's piercing wave dealt with them quickly. Scummy move to begin a level like that, but at least Mothra leveled up. I went through the other door and, judging by the fact that the melancholic music has finally kicked in, I assume this is the main portion of the level. It also seems my abrupt intrusion has surprised this worker.
Attention workers. It seems an intruder has found their way into Building 1, Sector 1. Please remain calm and continue working while we resolve this issue.
I probably should have figured that my unwelcome appearance would be noticed. It does seem like these rooms have cameras in them. No idea who's saying this, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it's over. Also, there better not be a ton of buildings and sectors. At first, I thought this level would be pretty easy because the Borgs can't actually aim up. But things have gotten more cramped now that these ceiling claws have started showing up. They're more focused on the workers than on me, but they take a hell of a lot of hits to kill, so there's no point bothering with them. Something interesting happens when a worker finishes assembling a robot. One of the ceiling claws will come by and charge it up with its claw, kinda like what was happening in the pyramid level. Neat to know how these bots are being built, but this level is getting pretty crowded. Not sure how I've never seen them do this before, but the green robots have a homing energy attack. I guess they just never felt the need to use it before.
There's our only chance, lads. It's time we strike back.
Whoa, that guy just threw a wrench at a Borg. I didn't expect a workers' riot to start in the middle of this level. Maybe I can help them out. The riot has managed to make this level even more chaotic than it already was. It's getting hard to hear the level music. A new enemy has also appeared. It's a tank that can only lob its shots. It also has a claw attached to it, but it can't reach me unless I fly too low. Another gimmick of this level is that seemingly endless amounts of robots can spawn out of doors. It's really annoying if there's a claw above it to stop me from flying over. Seems like the workers aren't too fond of it either.
Worker insolence will not be tolerated. Return to your designated station or be...
Damn! I didn't expect these guys to be so ruthless, but honestly, I can't blame them for wanting to tear these bots apart. I've been trying my best to protect all of the workers, but unfortunately things are just way too chaotic. I'm also really hoping that this level ends soon, because it feels like it's gone on for a while. I think I've reached the end of the level, but there's a Gatling gun turret guarding the exit, or at least I hope it's the exit. Well, it can do a lot of damage, but it can't take much. Good thing it dropped health, otherwise I would have been in real trouble.
Stranger,
Looks like one of the workers wants to talk.
I truly cannot fully express how grateful I am that you ignited our will to fight back today. If you hadn't appeared, we would still be slaving away to create our own enforcers. Unfortunately, we cannot talk for long, as there will surely be more reinforcements coming. But whatever your goal is, I hope you accomplish it. Stay safe, stranger.
Oh, well, you're welcome, I guess. Going through the door and... Are you kidding me? How is this level not over yet? Well, anyways, this section plays pretty similarly to the sewers levels. Mothra can't fly below the walkway, so I can't reach the conveyor belts below. I wonder why this area is off limits. Well, this might be my answer. Various weird creatures stand on the conveyor belt until the stationary ceiling bots inject them with electricity? I'm honestly not sure what's going on here. There also doesn't seem to be any enemies yet. Well, I found this door, or maybe it's an elevator? There is an arrow pointing down on it. I still didn't encounter any enemies. Maybe they're busy with the riot? Whatever, there's nothing to do except enter the door. Oh, thank God, that door was the end of the level. Ah, crap, I completely forgot I started a boss fight. Anyways, Vora looks like a fusion between Varan and Hedorah, just like I suspected. So I guess these fusion monsters will be appearing for the next couple of worlds. Well, attacking from above is definitely not a good idea. Not only can he lob Hedorah's projectiles from his tail, but he can also fire homing rings from his eye. Mothra's already down to almost half health. At least he blew a lot of his power at the start. He's pretty damn slow, but to make up for it he can extend sludge out of his hand. Kinda unfair that it doesn't use any power, but hitting it also hurts him, so I'll take it I guess. He also has a very strange ability where he extends his arm on the ground to try and grab me, and for some reason it also doesn't use any power. This attack would probably be super annoying to deal with if I wasn't playing as Mothra. I've finally managed to get him pretty low, now he's just covering his face. But all of a sudden, he's completely invulnerable to all of my attacks. What the hell is up with this? Wait, why is his power bar depleting so fast? Are you kidding me? Not only does he have a phase 2, but he's back at full health! Oh, the battle timer ended. Well, at least I'll start his second phase with full power now. Well, so far he has most of the same attacks as the first phase. Oh crap! I wasn't expecting to be able to swap sides of the screen. I guess this uses the same rules as the Malice fight. That's probably gonna make this fight a bit more chaotic. He does have a pretty annoying move where he throws down sludge whenever he flies over me. I guess that's why he's sticking so close to the top of the screen. Whoa! Wasn't expecting him to do this. Apparently he can suddenly lunge forward. Not sure how much damage it does, but the fact he has after images and the colors go crazy makes me think it does a lot. Well, surprisingly, I managed to beat him. Hopefully none of the other bosses have multiple phases, though just saying that I probably jinxed it. And as expected, the prism is here. I wonder why there's some barren levels right before it though. I've also now realized that Mothra is in quite the predicament. I could send her into the genetics stage and hope she can get health quickly, but that stage might start with her getting ambushed by enemies just like the factory stage. And attempting to grind for health in the previous stage is risky because I have no damn clue what's going on in the factory. Plus, those stages were super long. Oh, what the hell. I'll just send her forward and hope for the best. Into whatever the hell genetics will be. Genetics starts with Mothra exiting what I assume is the door from the end of the factory level. Since that door went down, I guess this takes place in some sort of underground bunker. As soon as I found these enemies, I used as many piercing waves as it took to kill them. But of course, they didn't drop any health. Hopefully I can get some soon. Unfortunately, I still haven't been able to get health from enemies, but it seems I found the object from the level icon. It kinda looks like a giant test tube of sorts, although the glass doesn't seem too sturdy right now. Holy crap, an enemy just burst out of the test tube. Sweet! Not only did the test tube creature kill the Borg, but it dropped some health. Thankfully it doesn't seem to want to attack me, because it's slithering into one of the vents. After a few more enemies, I've reached another door. I assume it's another elevator. I entered it and, yep, definitely an elevator. It's taking a really long time to go down though, but I guess it's neat that the music gets muffled, which by the way, is a really gnarly track. The elevator stopped and brought me down another level. It looks like there's a new section coming up. It seems like more test tube creatures have broken out and are fighting the robots. 2 riots in one day is some serious bad luck. Unfortunately, sometimes the creatures like to attack me as well. There's also a new robot here, if you can even call it a robot. It's just a stationary turret that fires the same projectiles as the green robots. Also, I just realized that this place must be pretty damn vast for the background to be almost entirely black. Whoa, looks like something broke out and decided to crash through the bunker floor. That's probably gonna be a mini-boss later, isn't it? Took another elevator down, and this time when I get off, there's a little mouse thing hopping away. No harm in following it, I suppose. Well, the little guy has led me to a wall of guns. I assume damaging it enough will destroy it? Jesus! Guess I didn't need to destroy the wall myself, but I don't think I can get around these guys. Well, it turns out that this level also uses the same rules as the Malice fight, meaning that this level is probably far bigger than I anticipated. Hopefully the next elevator is somewhere this way. Turns out that the elevator was in this direction, which leads me to believe that the rest of this level will also be pretty maze-like. I'm probably gonna be here for a while. You know, now that I've seen a lot of these test tube creatures, I'm starting to wonder why these things are being made in the first place. In universe, that is. I'm pretty sure the real reason they're here is because the guy who made this ROM hack thought it'd be cool. Huh. I wonder what's got these robots' attention. Whoa, this guy's just going berserk through these enemies. He's not even taking any damage. Well, thankfully, it seems like he didn't see me, and instead he decided to crash through the floor, which means he probably also caused the same hole earlier. And seeing how strong he was just then definitely doesn't instill any courage in me for the inevitable fight with him. The Gatling gun turret from the end of the factory levels also appears here, but they're not nearly as difficult to deal with because usually I can just count on the creatures to take them out. What isn't as easy to deal with are these ring shooters, mainly because I can't actually hurt them. Not even Mothra's wing drop damages them. Another elevator down, and I am even more lost than before. I thought flying in the open areas would be better because they aren't narrow, but they're far too crowded and vast for me to know where I'm going. Well, I found one of those gun walls from earlier, but it seems I'll have to actually fight this one. It seems pretty hectic at first, since it pretty much just spams lasers, but not only are there multiple blind spots to avoid the projectiles, but Mothra's piercing wave also completely decimates it. And after a few more piercing waves and pretty much no help from these two, the wall is gone. Hopefully this is a sign that I'm going in the right direction. Finally made it to an elevator, but it looks like the skull-faced creature from earlier made it here before me. Hopefully there isn't too much left of this level, because it has been dragging on for a while. Great. Not only is the level not over, but I'm forced to fight another gun wall. Well, I destroyed the gun wall and proceeded forward to find this thing. Maybe it's a generator? Whatever it is, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now. Oh crap! I guess I'm fighting him now. Or not? Why is he trying to destroy this thing? I don't think my attacks can do anything to him, so I guess I'll just sit back and watch. Jesus Christ! It exploded! The screen fully faded to white. Did the game bug out, or am I just permanently dead? Sweet, Mothra is still alive. Her health is low though. Where'd the skull-faced guy go? Oh god, I have to escape now? And I'm timed? This is gonna be a nightmare. It's hard to focus on getting out of here with all the explosions and smoke on the screen. Doesn't help that the screen keeps shaking. At least the ring shooters seem to have been deactivated. Thankfully the elevators still work, though I'm not sure for how long. I'd also really like to get some health soon. Well, this creature is the first thing I've seen since the timer started, and I do really need health, so I guess I'll kill them. Don't feel good about it though. The vastness of this level is really giving me a hard time here. Was I supposed to memorize the layout or something? Oh great, I guess I missed one of the gun walls. Hopefully this doesn't take too much time. Finally made it to one of the first elevators. I think I'm gonna make it. Or not? How the hell am I going to escape now? Maybe there's another elevator. Yes, there is another elevator. I think I still have a chance. I guess this monster is coming along too. Honestly, this elevator is taking so long, it's making me antsy. Crap, he's here? I completely forgot about him. Damn it, my attacks aren't doing anything. What am I supposed to do? No, the timer went off. The screen went white again. Did Mothra actually manage to survive that? Damn, I guess I underestimated her. Good to see that some of the other creatures also survived. Whoa. I didn't expect the level icon to change, but it's still called genetics? Whatever, only one level stands between me and the Prism Keeper, and it's a barren level, so it'll be pretty easy. The name still perplexes me though, but not enough for me to care to actually check what the symbols mean. So far it's exactly the same as the other Baron levels, except even emptier because there's no dragonflies, which is a shame because I was hoping to get some easy health from those. Well, this is new. It looks like I'm entering a castle, probably Opha's. There's also a camera, so they definitely know I'm here. Seems I've reached the entrance inside the castle, but it's currently closed. If this is anything like what happened at the end of the pyramid level, then a mini-boss is about to show up right about now. Or not? This feels a little suspicious, but it's not like I have any other choice. Just hope that Mothra can heal soon. Well, look at that. There's some health in front of that totally not suspicious mantis statue. All jokes aside, maybe this actually isn't a trap? I was given some free health back in Regna, so maybe this is also like that? Damn it, I should have known it was a— wait, what's happening to the screen? Oh boy, as if there weren't enough mini-bosses in this world, now I have to do a clone fight. This fight has a very annoying gimmick where whenever I attack, the clone does the same attack. Combine that with the clone somewhat mirroring my movements, and you get a fight that kinda sucks. Turns out that this is another situation where I can switch sides like the Malice fight. Unfortunately, the clone also switches sides, which makes keeping track of which Mothra I'm controlling really annoying. I thought that the piercing wave would be a good idea, but not only did I miss most of my shots, I also got hit by most of the clone's piercing waves. Ugh, it feels like I've been in this fight forever. When the hell is this gonna end? Oh, wait. What? It just stopped? And the clone turned into health? Wait a minute. The head of the mantis statue is broken. Is that why the battle stopped? Did I do that somehow? Or did something else do that? Whatever. There's no point in dwelling on it. The level ended not long after that. Now there's nothing left between me and the Prism Keeper. No more stalling. Time to take down Opha. Interesting. This Prism level doesn't immediately start with a fight against the Prism Keeper. I wonder why the others didn't do this. There he is. But why hasn't his health bar appeared?
Well, well, well. You finally made it. I must admit, you are quite resilient. Not only have you destroyed many of my robots, but you also survived the explosion in my underground facility. Originally, I was going to kill you right here. But now, having seen your strength, I would like to strike a deal.
And what is this deal exactly?
Join me, and we can rule Niagrab together. After all, we're both invertebrates. I'm sure you've also been a victim of oppression.
If you're an invertebrate, then why do you look so robotic?
I couldn't risk someone usurping me, so I built a metal shell to make myself stronger. If you accept the deal, I could build one for you as well.
How would you still be able to rule after the workers' riot and the facility explosion? Aren't those pretty big setbacks?
That riot was nothing more than a small ruckus. I can assure you that the factories are resuming business as usual. And as for the facility, I could easily rebuild it in a few days. So, do you accept my offer?
Hell no. You claim you're a victim of oppression, but that's all you've been doing to your citizens.
How unfortunate. Revol, dispose of this scum immediately.
What the hell? He's just flying away like a coward. Great. Now I have to fight this robot. He must be Opha's bodyguard or something. Also, that sneak attack was complete bullcrap. Revol's main method of attack is firing lasers from one of his arms. It gets pretty annoying with how many he can fire at once. He can also angle the thrusters on his shoulders to act as a jetpack, so Mothra's flight won't be that advantageous. He's pretty crafty as well, because he can also use the thrusters to make a quick getaway. Maybe I can hit him from above? Ah crap, that's on me for completely forgetting about his laser sword. It seems like the best strategy is to fly low and spam the piercing wave, but unfortunately he does seem to be more resistant to that attack. I also have to say, for as difficult as this fight is, the music rules. Looks like he's charging up an attack. I'm not sure when he's gonna unleash it though. Damn it, he got me! What the hell? He just grabbed me with a claw from his chest. Shoot, he's charging up. Jesus, that did a ton of damage. Thankfully, I was able to escape before he completely decimated my health by using good old button mashing, but Mothra's health is far too low. No! It grabbed me again! I can't lose here! Yes! I got out! Time to unleash hell on this tin can. Hell yeah. That took far longer than I wanted it to. Thank God he dropped health and power. Whoa, what the hell? Oh god, that fight with Revol took so long I completely forgot about Opha. At least I have full HP. Opha's primary attack seems to be firing lightning from his upper arms. His claw hand lights up when he's about to unleash it, so as long as I pay attention, it isn't too hard to avoid. But unlike Malice, he isn't entirely restricted to ranged attacks, as he can also jump forwards and try to grab me. It's not that hard to dodge though. Unfortunately, just like Revol, Opha also takes less damage from the piercing wave than usual, which sucks because I just wasted half my power bar on that. He's flying back up. He better not be trying to escape again. Well, he isn't escaping, he's just doing a much scummier tactic, firing homing missiles at me while he's off screen. Thankfully the missiles explode in just one hit, but I'd rather he'd stop fighting like a coward. What the hell? How was I supposed to know that would happen? Once he struck Mothra with lightning, Opha immediately tried to crush her underneath his feet, but I was able to move away just in time. Seems like hitting him from above works pretty well. Damn, I guess not then. That must have really annoyed him if it got him to shoot lightning from both claws. At least now he's used up a lot of power. Apparently he can also fire homing lasers from his lower arms. They're pretty annoying to dodge when used with the lightning, but I'm not sure why he's only started using it now. He flew up again. This time I'm gonna move frantically to try and avoid the lightning. Nice try, scumbag. Ah, what the hell is this? Why can't I move? Damn it, he landed on Mothra while she was paralyzed. How the hell is that fair? He must be getting real desperate because he's firing off those paralyzing beams constantly now. I think I can still scrape out a win here. It looks like that red thing on his midsection is charging up for something. If it's anything like Revol's attack, it'll definitely kill Mothra. I need to end this fight now. Holy crap, is he dead? Whoa, is that his real body?
You were stronger than I anticipated, but you know, that deal is still available. I'll even let those two monsters you came here with stay.
Absolutely not. Why the hell would I side with an evil, oppressive scumbag dictator like you? Sorry. I kinda got caught up in my emotions during that. I guess that just goes to show how good the guy who made this ROM hack is at world building. It's weird though. It felt like I was having an actual conversation with Opha there, not just some pre-programmed responses. Maybe this thing really is alive? I can't believe I'm actually thinking like that. I'm definitely taking a short break after this. Time to head into the tunnel and finally be done with Niagrab. Feels like this world has gone on forever. I wonder if those eyes are gonna show up again. I'm not sure how to describe it, but the tunnel feels more ominous than before. Maybe it's a bit darker, or maybe it's because now there's creepy as hell music playing. There's those damn eyes from last time. They weren't hostile before, but I'm not sure if I should talk to them.
3 prison keepers defeated. You are doing quite well. I sense great potential within you. Please, do not waste it.
Oh, and there they go. Back into the void. I would have preferred to know their name or something, but I guess they must be on the same side as the messenger, so maybe they're trustworthy? I honestly have no idea. Well, after far longer than I expected, Niagrab is done. To be completely honest, this world kinda took a toll on me. The constant mini-bosses, the several times I almost lost one of my monsters, and finding out that the game can hear me. I'm gonna continue this, don't get me wrong, but I think I need a shower and some food before I go to the next world.